On September 4th, 1995, in the middle of a shopping mall in Minnesota of all places, WCW lit the fuse that changed wrestling forever. Shocking debuts, dream matches, and chaos in a food court. This wasn't just another wrestling show, it was the beginning of a war. Today, we are stepping back 30 years to the date for the debut of WCW Monday Nitro.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? Welcome to and new. Oh yeah!
It's going to be the biggest battleground in the history of our sport, guys.
Let's go, let's bear witness. He is broken in half.
But I'm better than you,
And you know it. You want some? Come get some.
Acknowledge me.
The irresistible force meeting the immovable object.
Welcome, wrestling fans, to the Wrestling Universe Channel's podcast, where pro wrestling fans discuss what we love, pro wrestling. So as always, if it's your first time listening in, we, the Wrestling Universe Channel, would like to thank you for taking the time to listen. And if you have returned, we want to give you a special shout out of thanks for sticking around the Wrestling Universe Channel. We invite you to follow us on YouTube and Spotify. Links below.
From the land of 10,000 lakes, Minneapolis, Minnesota, the Mall of America, the only building big enough to hold the debut edition of WCW Monday Nitro. We are coming to you live here on TNT.
It's the anniversary of Monday Nitro. We are rewinding all the way back to September 4th, 1995, the night World Championship Wrestling changed the game with the debut of Monday Nitro. It was the night Lex Luger shocked the wrestling world by walking out on Vince McMahon and appearing live in Minneapolis. It was the night WCW took the first shot in what would become the legendary Monday Night Wars. And oh yeah, it was the night Hulk Hogan wrestled in, of all places, a mall food court. So buckle up, because we're diving into the behind the scenes drama, the matches, the business side, and the legacy of WCW Nitro's very first night. Let's set the stage. It's 1995. The wrestling world looks very different. World Wrestling Federation is in a weird phase, the new generation era, with guys like Bret Hart, Diesel, and Shawn Michaels holding the fort, but business isn't booming. Over in World Championship Wrestling, Eric Bischoff is on the rise. Ted Turner has given him primetime television on TNT, and the company is about to go head-to-head with Vince McMahon for the very first time. The venue? The Mall of America in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Yes, WCW Nitro debuted inside a shopping mall, surrounded by escalators, food court tables, and a few thousand very confused shoppers. Can you imagine the mall walkers at this time? But make no mistake, this wasn't just a wrestling show, it was a statement. Monday Nitro was live. That was the big selling point. Unlike World Wrestling Federation's taped Monday Night Raw episodes, Nitro was unpredictable, and Eric Bischoff wanted to shock fans from night one, and boy did he deliver. Behind the scenes, Nitro's debut was chaos, in the best way. The biggest story? Lex Luger. Luger had been working for World Wrestling Federation, literally wrestled a house show for the company the night before, and then boom, he shows up unannounced on Nitro. This was Bischoff flexing World Championship Wrestling's money and showing he pulled off surprises. Meanwhile, Hulk Hogan was the centerpiece. He was WCW's cash cow at the time, and they put him in the main event against Big Bubba Rogers. But Hulk Hogan in WCW wasn't quite clicking with every fan, especially by 1995. So World Championship Wrestling surrounded him with his friends, Jimmy Hart, and yes, the Dungeon of Doom feud was still raging on, unfortunately. Another behind the scenes note, Eric Bischoff and Steve Mongo McMichael were chosen for commentary. Mongo was brand new to wrestling commentary, a former NFL player who brought some awkward but memorable lines. But if those do remember, he did appear on Monday Night Raw prior to WrestleMania 11 when he was one of the Lumberjacks on Team Lawrence Taylor. Bischoff wanted Nitro to feel different than WWF's polished but predictable Monday Night Raw. And then, of course, you had Brian Pillman vs. Jushin Thunder Liger to open the show. A match that showed World Championship Wrestling had something the WWF didn't have: international talent and cruiserweights who could steal the show. So let's go match by match, shall we? Brian Pillman versus Jushin Thunder Liger, a rematch from their legendary Super Brawl 2 Classic. For a TV opener in 1995, this was revolutionary. Fast-paced, high-flying, and completely different from anything Monday Night Raw was offering at the time. The high-octane opener immediately captured attention. Jushin Thunder Liger dazzled with a rolling wheel kick and a seamless moonsault press for a 2 count. Pillman countered with a head scissors and began to turn the tide. A sequence of big moves followed. Jushin Thunder Liger's cannonball off the apron, a suplex, and a near-fall dropkick. Pillman struck back with a tornado DDT, reversed a German suplex attempt into a clutch roll-up victory. Post-match, they shook hands, signaling mutual respect. I believe the Wrestling Observer gave this a 3.5 star rating, an excellent choice to show WCW was going global and innovated. The Nature Boy Ric Flair took on his rival, the man they called Sting. One of wrestling's greatest rivalries on display. They didn't go long, because the real story wasn't the match. Of course, it was Lex Luger, walking down the aisle mid-match and shocking everyone. The crowd went crazy, the announcers sold it as a huge deal, and suddenly fans had a reason to tune in every week for WCW Monday Nitro. Legacy-wise, this match, I believe the Wrestling Observer gave it 3 stars, but in a moment in history, it's totally 5 stars. And of course, the World Heavyweight Champion at the time, Hulk Hogan, going against Big Bubba Rogers. Let's be real, not the greatest wrestling match. But it wasn't supposed to be. It was about Hulk Hogan being the face of World Championship Wrestling on prime time. This straightforward main event leaned into Hulk Hogan's star power. Big Bubba Rogers targeted Hogan early with a headlock and an avalanche, but Hogan regained control with boots into the corner, high impact slams, elbow drops, and a dramatic 10 punch in the corner. Despite a Big Boss Man straddle slam attempt, a Big Bubba Rogers straddle slam attack, Hulk Hogan hulks up and closes with a big boot and the signature leg drop for the win. In the post-match, the Dungeon of Doom attack Hogan. Suddenly, Lex Luger comes to the rescue, leading to a face-off and setting up a Hulk Hogan-Lex Luger title match next week on WCW Monday Nitro. I believe the Wrestling Observer would have given this match 2 stars for the wrestling quality, but it did what it needed to do. Hulk Hogan looked like a star, and Monday Nitro closed with mayhem. On the business side, now let's talk business. Monday Nitro's debut drew a 2.5 rating on TNT. Not massive, but strong enough to show Ted Turner's gamble was paying off. World Wrestling Federation's Monday Night Raw that night had taped matches, including Shawn Michaels going against Sid, but Nitro won the night in the ratings. Approximately 2,000 fans attended the debut of Monday Nitro at the Mall of America. While most attendees were paying fans, the mall setting allowed for walk-up traffic and giveaways, part of the spectacle and buzz. This was a future sign that Vince McMahon had competition. World Championship Wrestling didn't just launch a show, they launched a war. Ticket sales? Well, this was free at the mall, so technically no gate, but the buzz it created, priceless. And that's what Eric Bischoff wanted. Headlines, attention, and unpredictability. Okay, let's have some fun. Let's have a little bit of a fantasy rebooking or even a what-if scenario. What if Lex Luger hadn't jumped ship? Monday Nitro's debut would have felt way less historic. Without the shocking defection, WWF might have brushed Monday Nitro off as just another World Championship Wrestling show? What if Nitro had bombed? No Monday Night Wars, no NWO, no Attitude Era as we know it. Think about how different pro wrestling would be today. And here's a wild one. What if WCW had kicked off with Sting vs. Hulk Hogan as the main event instead of Big Bubba Rogers? Instant dream match, and Nitro might have been even hotter right out the gate. The best moments and standouts from the debut episode was definitely the Flair Sting segment. It drove heat and set storylines in motion. The Lex Luger reveal also delivered a massive pop and storyline intrigue. The memorable moment, the premiere itself of the show. The surprise return of Lex Luger overshadowed the matches and created a cultural moment. Surprisingly, the weak link was the Brian Pillman Jushin Thunder Liger match that didn't fully deliver. It had some solid technique, but overwhelming execution relative to expectations. What was some of the moments for you, the viewer, at the time? What did you like about the debut episode of Monday Nitro? And for anyone that is a pro wrestling fan that hasn't seen it, you can check it out on YouTube, the full entire show. I'll provide a link below. So what's the legacy of Monday Nitro's debut? It wasn't a perfect show, but it was historic. Monday Nitro's debut wasn't just another pro wrestling show. It was a storytelling power strike. From Lex Luger's dramatic return and the Flair Sting brawl to the live setting inside, of all places, a mall. World Championship Wrestling announced itself in a way the pro wrestling world couldn't ignore. While not every in-ring slot was perfect, the energy was undeniable, the stakes were high, and the Monday Night Wars were officially born. What will history remember about this night? It will be remembered for one thing: the sheer unpredictability and edge of live television that said anything can happen. And that moment charged the entire pro wrestling industry. As always, we appreciate and thank you all for taking the time to be a part of our episode here on the Wrestling Universe channel. Please let us know how we did, or if you have anything you would like to contribute to this episode, we would love to hear your feedback. And you know the drill. Follow us on all of our social platforms, Instagram, YouTube, and Spotify, and we look forward to the next episode. So long, wrestling fans.